Hello everyone. In today's RackForce Innovation Moment, we talk about education, cloud, and the Alberta SuperNet. So many IT challenges are solved, money is saved, and Alberta students get world-class education. My name is Brian Fry. I'm a co-founder and the cloud evangelist for RackForce, and I'm going to be your host today. Today's lesson is we take the SuperNet, we combine it with RackForce's cloud, and we end up with world-class Alberta education. When it comes to education, IT has many challenges. First of all, it's hard to find good people. How do you find people when there's lots of competition? Budgets are static or going down, and along with that comes all these new devices, or BYOD, all the new apps and applications you're already supporting. IT infrastructure demand is at an all-time high, and of course the bad guys never give up, so security is also always there. RackForce is Canada's largest cloud service provider. It has an extensive cloud toolbox that delivers compute, storage, network, and services from multiple Canadian locations. So how does this work? Well, first you take the Alberta SuperNet, you add to it a cloud center in Calgary, you also add a cloud center in Kelowna, and another major cloud center in Toronto. You also add two major internet exchanges, one in the west and one in the east. And then you put a big network between everything, Kelowna to Calgary, Calgary to Toronto. You connect into the internet exchanges on both sides. And then in addition, you put a southern network between the two so you have complete redundancy for the ultimate in cloud services. Now, education cloud services can be delivered anywhere in Alberta, whether it's way down south, or way up north, or in the west, or in the east. It's completely covered with a fantastic network with great services. The Cloud Gateway is the interface between the educational institution and RackForce. This is a co-managed service where you can manage it through a portal, but in addition you get RackForce's expertise. Through this, you get very low-cost internet services. You get a whole host of cloud services that we've been talking about, and we'll go into some detail in just a moment. But in addition, it is a firewall. It is also your authentication with single sign-on. It provides your antivirus, your anti-spam, and a whole host of other services, even web content management. And of course, your end users have full access to this, whether they're out in the hotel over the internet, whether in school over the SuperNet, or university over the SuperNet, or even a college over the SuperNet, or of course if they're at home as well. Pretty well any service can be delivered from the RackForce Cloud through the RackForce Cloud Gateway and through RackForce's cloud services. But for example, services like delivering video content with discovery on it in a very efficient and fast manner because it's coming right through the cloud, right over the SuperNet, directly connected over the SuperNet. Or how about online courses which have to be managed 24/7 can easily be managed from the RackForce Cloud. Or how about virtual machines or even virtual data centers, completely replacing physical data centers with virtual. All the virtual applications that you can imagine, hosting just about anything, even line of business, standard applications that you would never think could go in the cloud, can go into this cloud. Disaster recovery, cloud storage and backup, and a whole host of other services. In addition, because it's being delivered directly through the cloud gateway, there's no hairpinning. In other words, the service is going to go directly to the school rather than, for example, right into a school district and then to the school and then back and then out. Instead, in this situation, it comes right through the SuperNet switch and then it's delivered directly to the school. So the service is actually direct all the way to the cloud application or directly out to the internet. It's common when it comes to the cloud to want to know how much it's going to save you in costs. Well, there are a number of factors that come into play, but essentially look at it this way. Traditional IT, this top step line here, is essentially the way it works today. In traditional IT, every 3 years you're going to buy more IT infrastructure. And of course you have to buy for the next 3 years, so you're constantly buying in advance and your costs go up and up and up. In a cloud environment, the difference is that you're not buying in advance, you're buying as you need it, when and where you need it. So it's a very gradual climb. And of course, even software licenses and all the other pieces come into play that you're just buying as you need it. And in fact, in many cases, your actual cost could be going more like this, where you're actually scaling up and down as required. The reason why cloud service providers can save you so much money is essentially there's about a 10-to-1 ratio. In other words, 10 small data centers can easily fit into one of RackForce's major cloud data centers because of all the efficiencies in cooling and power and the way the air is moved around. There's so much efficiency built into these facilities that you can now use far less equipment to deliver the same level of service or better. The other part that's so exciting about cloud is that essentially it's a la carte. In other words, let's take this school district example that's in the center here. The school district has some services that it requires, but each of its schools have a variety of different services that are required that could each be set up in separate sub-accounts. And these sub-accounts, of course, are highly efficient because now you're just delivering exactly what each individual school requires before you actually pay for the service back to RackForce. So as we discussed in today's lesson, you take the SuperNet, you take a RackForce Cloud, and now you can deliver world-class Alberta education. For more information, please go to www.rackforce.com or email us at sales@rackforce.com, or you can even call 866-468-1158. This has been a RackForce Innovation Moment on Education Cloud and the Alberta SuperNet. Thank you for listening.